All right, how is it going, guys? Welcome to another video. Today we're going to be talking about my polls for the month of August. For each week, I'll be going over the comics that I got, as well as my pick of the week, and kind of diving in a little bit to why it is my pick of the week. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so this week was a good one. We got Absolute Green Lantern, Absolute Superman, All New Venom, The Amazing Spider-Man, as well as a facsimile for Detective Comics and Secret Six, the finale of that series, which I really wish that was an ongoing series. Secret Six was phenomenal. And at first, I only picked it up just to, just to read some more John Kent, but it ended up being really great, and it got me really interested in the Secret Six as a team. But anyways, without further ado, my pick of the week for this week: Absolute Superman number 10. Now, you might be wondering, okay, you just talked and raved so much about Secret Six. Why wouldn't it be Secret Six? Secret Six, it's a really close contender, but Absolute Superman by Jason Aaron has been absolutely fire. I went to an expo recently and I picked up a hardcover signed by Jason Aaron of Absolute Superman Volume 1. And this series has been phenomenal. From Jason Aaron's take on generative AI and how it kind of takes away from creativity and the creative process to the kind of, you know, overlooking aspect of like people with way too much power trying to oppress others and what that looks like. And what if there was a hero there willing to stop it all? So yeah, Absolute Superman number 10 is my pick of the week for the first week of August. Okay, so looking at the second week of August, the 13th, um, there were quite a few comics. Let's go over the ones that I did get. Action Comics 1089. This is, I think, Mark Waid currently writing that. Batman and Robin number 24. Also a really good comic series. I didn't end up picking up Batman Harley Quinn just because I needed to save a little bit of money on my end. You'll notice a trend here for this week. I got a lot of J. Scott Campbell, the the Just Spectacular collection variants, just because I had the urge to collect them all. I'll be honest, J. Scott Campbell, really good artist. So I got the Daredevil number 24, and I did read all these. I didn't just buy them for the covers. I mean, I did buy them for the covers, but I read them to get the most out of it. Eddie Brock Carnage number 7. That one I was going to buy anyways. I just got this variant cover. Fantastic Four number 2. Same thing as Eddie Brock Carnage. I was going to buy it anyways. Laura Kinney, Wolverine number 9. Magic number 8. Miles Morales, Spider-Man 36. Supergirl number 4. And Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion number 3. So this week was an interesting one. I mean, I picked up a lot of comics, some of which I only picked up for the covers. I still read them all. I mean, were they all incredible? Not necessarily. I mean, that's kind of what you're going to get when you pick up a comic without any basis for it. But I will say this, there was one that stood out without a doubt to me, and that was Eddie Brock Carnage number 7. Eddie Brock Carnage has been such a phenomenal comic series. I really can't emphasize this anymore. If you guys are into something like, for example, the TV show Dexter, which I love, you're going to love Eddie Brock Carnage. Charles Soule basically, if you've seen the show Dexter, you could compare Carnage to being the Dark Passenger and Eddie Brock to just being Dexter. It's a really interesting dynamic. I think it's something we've needed, something new, fresh, interesting with Carnage that we haven't gotten in a long time. Uh, and I've been enjoying it thoroughly. So if you aren't reading this, I highly recommend that you do because it is phenomenal. It's really interesting having kind of seeing Carnage slowly push Eddie towards the darker side of the spectrum when it comes to whether or not you should kill someone to survive. So I've thoroughly enjoyed this comic. Okay, week 3 was insane for August. This is the 20th of August. There was a lot of good stuff that came out this week, so let's go over it. So, I mean, obviously, I had to pick up Absolute Batman. So, Absolute Batman number 11, really good. Absolute Flash number 6. Honestly, I've said it before, not on this, but on my TikTok. The idea that a Flash comic has trouble with pacing is kind of frustrating, not going to lie. The Amazing Spider-Man number 10, that was all right. It was decent. I've been reading the series, so I didn't just pick it up for the cover. Batman Superman World's Finest 42, also a great series. That's Mark Waid writing. And then Black Cat number 1. I do have the A cover held for me at my LCS, but I also picked up the J. Scott Campbell. But I'm planning to just read it once I got the A cover because I don't want to mess around with any of that stuff. And then Detective Comics number 1100, so a milestone comic. We got Crypto, the Last Dog of Krypton, number 3. Nightwing, number 129, and then Batman Unlimited number 4. So a lot of really good comics came out this week, but without a doubt, to me, there was one that stuck out above them all. And it should really come to no surprise when I say that it was Absolute Batman number 11. Scott Snyder just keeps sending out heat, and I'm going to keep buying it while he does because, man, I have loved this series from the minute it dropped. I mean, I got Absolute Batman number 1 when it first came out. I know that's a very valuable comic now. I mean, I don't blame anyone for thinking it's valuable, but wow, I'm so happy I picked up the series right away. I've loved it. As you can tell by the ratings, people loved it. I loved it more than them, apparently. I've got a 5 stars out of 5. So pick up the series. Guys, if you're not reading Absolute Batman and you like Batman, you're missing out. Okay, so the last week of August, we had a lot of really great comics that came out this week. I obviously picked up a lot just for the variants from J. Scott Campbell's Spectacular collection. But even so, I actually, I read all of these and I found most of them to be really enjoyable. So yeah, I got Absolute Martian Manhunter number 6, Absolute Wonder Woman number 11, Bring on the Bad Guys Dormammu number 1, Death of the Silver Surfer number 3, The Flash number 24, Imperial War Planet She-Hulk number 1, The Incredible Hulk number 28, and I'm getting the A cover put on hold for me as well. Justice League number 10, or Justice League Unlimited number 10. And the Mortal Thor number 1. I got the main cover and the J. Scott Campbell cover because Alex Ross doing Thor art is like, it's a match made in heaven. And then I also got the final issue of Peacemaker Presents, the Vigilante slash Eagly double feature. So if you really liked, James Gunn interpretation of Vigilante, Peacemaker, Eagly, all that stuff, this comic series is canon. It's written in part by James Gunn, so I do recommend you check that out. Superman number 29, Ultimate Spider-Man number 20, and then X-Men number 21, the J. Scott Campbell cover. So this week was crazy. There were so many comics that came out, and honestly, a lot of them were really good. The Absolute series are almost always on top, but then you have Marvel bringing their Ultimate comics out, and if I had more money, I'd be collecting more of them, but so far it's just been the Ultimate Spider-Man. And without a doubt, I think that there were easily like 3 or 4 different contenders for my pick of the week here. Like the Ultimate Spider-Man, awesome. The Mortal Thor, an amazing first issue. Incredible Hulk, I'm loving Johnson's take on the Hulk. It is very interesting, and as soon as I read this, I told my LCS, I'm like, yo, hold the A cover, put this on my pull list. I'm reading it now. Like I needed to. So I guess it just brings it to the 2 Absolute covers or Absolute issues. If you guys have read both of these Absolute issues, you know they're both phenomenal, but you also know without a doubt there's one that is just, it's breathtaking. It is, in my mind, revolutionary. Absolute Martian Manhunter number 6. I gave this a 5 out of 5, and based on 2.5 thousand ratings, it's got a 4.7 out of 5. That's phenomenal. Denise Camp, I can't even begin to think how much time and effort he must put into his creative process, and just like the payoff of this issue, phenomenal. Light spoiler warning, but essentially the Martian Manhunter, Absolute Martian Manhunter, is this beautiful take on like kind of like the chaos that engulfs the world and like trying to counteract it with good. I think without a doubt my review that I wrote, because when I like a comic enough, I'll write a review on League of Comic Geeks. So I think my review speaks for itself. So this is what I wrote for the Absolute Martian Manhunter number 6. I said, in a single issue, Denise Kemp has written a story that perfectly encapsulates the state of the world we live in. A world where everyone is united in having to face their own trauma and grief, yet so divided because of fear and insecurity. Camp also further expands on this, showing that benefits that can come from facing and overcoming those insecurities to make the hard decisions, and just how united people would be if they attempted to understand someone else's story and grievances. So I think without a doubt, this is a story about having empathy, about, the fact that when we really zoom out on it, we're all humans, we all have issues, and yet for some reason there are so many people in the world who are so divided, who hate so strongly, who despise people for what they look like. But if you were to take away these weird labels that we use to divide each other, and just look down and simplify to the basic level, we're all human beings, right? And we're all having a tough time. So when we use something as powerful as empathy, as sympathy, we can really help make the world a better place and solve a lot of the world's most difficult problems. So yeah, this without a doubt was not only my pick of the week, but I'm going to go as far to say this was my pick of the month. This was the best comic I read for all of August. If you're not reading Absolute Martian Manhunter, you're missing out. I say this about other comics, but I cannot pick it up in some form, whether it be buying it a digital copy, buying it physical. You know, I always recommend supporting your LCS, buying the trade or hardcover when it comes out. Just do something to read this comic because it is so good. Anyways, guys, those are my reads and picks of the week, as well as my pick of the month for August 2025. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And I'll see you in future videos like this as I go over my month-by-month polls, my most anticipated comics, and also the comics that I read. Thanks for watching, guys.